This is nice. Thank you.
started to snuggle on the grass.
Yeah. Well, actually, the other thing I would like to talk is about maybe equality between women and boys back home. When
Hmm.
you were educated in your whole life as in high school, primary school, are there difference in the way they teach girls and they teach boys?
I in in that respect, I will say it was a very gender inclusive
Mm-hmm.
environment. I studied in a school
Mm-hmm.
throughout my life. I have studied in a school where the boys and girls are together in the same
Mm-hmm.
classroom, sharing
Mm-hmm.
benches, like sitting with each other. It's not like girls sit on the right, boys sit
Mm,
on the left, or vice versa. But
yeah.
but it was a very inclusive environment, and though there were like some sports activities, I will say,
Yeah.
when where like preference was given to the boys that they
Yeah.
should go and participate in it.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to go and learn basketball or
Mm-hmm.
volleyball at one point of my life, but in my school, in my secondary
Mm-hmm.
school, we didn't have what do you say, the teams, the
Mm-hmm.
girl teams for
Yeah.
basketball. There was a girl teams for volleyball, but they were like very kind of professional players.
Mm-hmm.
And but but that was the only difference which I think. Plus, if you are a girl, you are bound to get into more activities like dancing,
Yeah.
painting. Back in India, I feel like all those classical dances
Yeah.
are meant for women.
Yeah.
Like
There are no men really now
there are
dancing.
some men, but the population or the people
Yeah.
don't think good about them. Like
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
like so girly men walking around or like participating in these activities. They are not like men. They are
Yeah.
like girly men.
Yeah. I
Like
know.
they get those tags, but
The roles are very clear. Then would you say?
yeah.
Yeah.
But if I talk about my household
Mm-hmm.
or my parents' house, my grandparents'
Mm-hmm.
house, because we belong to this path Sikhism. In this path, we are like every person who is following this path. There is this obligation that you have to treat women and men equally.
Yeah.
Even the duties, or you say like there is no set of different duties, like
Mm-hmm.
this is to be done by men or this is to be done by women according to Sikhism.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. It was nice being a
Yeah.
woman in the Indian household.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
I am in the Indian household
I know.
but living by myself.
Yeah. I know. I know. I know.
uh
And what about university? Did you? I mean, because especially the transition when you're a teenager, which my feeling is when you're a teenager, it's kind of roles. It's like we grew up all together, and suddenly when you're a teenager, it's kind of things. I don't know. That's my experience. Things are starting to girls are going in this way, and boys are going this way. In terms of affinities, I don't know, hobbies or
yeah.
activities and career orientation, etc. So
uh,
what do you feel, how was your university years from you remember? It was different for you, it was harder, it was easy
mm-hmm.
because you were a woman?
uh, to be honest, like there was no difference between being a man or woman in
Mm-hmm.
the university
Yeah.
too. But if I say like transitioning from teenager to an
Mm-hmm.
adult life, I didn't suffer that much. But transitioning from a child to teenager, my parents might have suffered because my mother might be traumatized after seeing my tantrums. How she was holding up with me was she needs a Nobel Prize. At least she didn't kill me.
Yeah, teenage years are. But what did you do? What do
uh,
you mean exactly for?
Talking bad on people's face, making them uncomfortable
You're still
is.
you're still talking bad in people's face.
I guess I was worse.
No, okay,
Basically,
okay, I understand.
like not thinking logically what my words will like have effect on the other person. But that was something which I did the most, and fighting with my mother,
Oh my gosh.
not going on those family functions, always saying no, I'm not going, I'm not attending this person's wedding, because I kind of lost some confidence in my body. And like I used to think, oh, these girls look pretty, I don't look pretty, like not accepting the way my
Yeah.
body was shaping into. Probably that was the reason why I refrained going out, and that became my nature now.
Yeah, not to be judged by your family, relative.
Oh, well, I don't know whether this should be called as body shaming or not, but
Yeah.
they used to compare my height with their own children of the same age, no matter if they were boys or girls.
Yeah, what I've heard is even here, mothers in Canada, mothers, parents are very competitive. That's what I hear from,
Yes.
from immigrants, that they are, oh, mine is taking piano
Oh
lessons.
my god.
Mine is learning, I don't know, astronautics.
In my case, like in those social gatherings where you meet your aunties, and then your mother meet the ladies or their aunties and get in touch, like how your
Mhm.
kid is doing, how your daughter is doing. They used to compare the cooking skills.
Oh, that's new
You-
for me. That's new
they
for
used to
me.
compare the cooking skills. So the
Oh.
aunties used to tell my mother, "Oh, our daughter can host 4 people. She can prepare 3 course meal without any
Yeah.
difficulty, without any assistance." And my mother used to like, "Yeah." And then they used to like, "What about your daughter?" My mother was like, "Yeah, she can boil water. She can cook instant noodles for herself and her brother. But apart from that, she
She's
can make tea.
learning.
She
She's
can make
learning.
Indian
She's
tea."
learning.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, no.
she's learning.
No, she never said that she's learning to cook. No.
You
So
can ask your mother
I don't think so.
forgiveness, just
I
pardon
don't think so. She
for
ever did.
for everything, all the shame.
I guess she was the one who was going out and telling the people, "Oh, my daughter can't cook this, my daughter can't do that." Like your parents or your mothers, they want you to be the
Yeah,
perfect child, like
yeah,
the perfect kid in this whole world.
yeah,
But that's not the reality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what I hear,
Everyone comes with their own
yes,
imperfections.
exactly.
I was
Nobody's
good in
perfect.
studies as compared to those aunties' daughters,
Yes.
and I don't know what they are doing. Those daughters are doing. I don't. I hope that my mother compares their career and my career right now. Probably those daughters might be giving birth to their second child.
I'm sure. I mean, it's not bad good being a mother, but we should respect everyone's
Yeah.
priority. And I guess your mom must be.
She
Yeah,
was prioritizing the cooking skills, which I
yeah,
still have not learned.
yeah, no, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
One day I will burn down the whole kitchen.
Yes, yeah, that's my nightmare. Nightmare. And what I want to say is, like, I remember you mentioned many times, like, these things about getting married young is kind of a thing, back home. That's
Mm.
what
Mm-hmm.
that's my feeling. Actually, I can say the same, but because med school is very. All my friends are from med school because med school is very long.
Yeah, yeah.
All my friends are getting married also late. Well, not late, like late for the year average.
Mm-hmm.
So you always commenting me about people, getting married, or like you feel
That's
like,
my judgmental side.
oh, maybe you're feeling you're late.
No,
No, you don't feel. What do
I
you?
don't feel I'm late. I feel I need more time
Okay, more time for what?
for getting married. Let's not
Okay.
start with that topic.
There's insect. Okay, there's insect going there.
Let's
Okay.
not start the topic
Okay,
of a
okay.
marriage over here. That's a very controversial topic,
Okay,
and
okay.
I believe like my uncle back in Ottawa, who really wants me to get settled down in
Yeah.
life, and like he's a good person. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not judging him, but yes, like he really wants me to get settled down, and even my parents at some point of time in the year they also feel like, oh, let's talk about your marriage, and I'm like, can we stop the topic over there?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not comfortable talking about the marriage, but yes, if I talk about my maternal grandmother, as I said that she was married off when she was a teenager,
Mhm.
probably because her mother was still not alive
Mhm.
at that time,
Mhm.
at that point of her life. She was married to start her own household.
Mhm.
She was looked after her father, and her father married her off at an
Yeah.
early age. That time it was kind of a trend, or
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
trend, but like a custom.
It was normalized.
Yeah,
It was.
normalized. Yes, And if I talk about my mother's case, she completed her bachelor's, and after a year or two, she was also married. It was like she has achieved everything in life. Now she needs to get married.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was married off, but
How old was she when she got married?
I've never asked this
When she got
question
married?
to my mother, but probably she was like
20s?
26 or 27. Not that young, to be
Yeah.
honest, to get married. Like people
Mhm.
get married at 20, 21 years of age.
Yeah, mine was married. My mother got married at 25,
Yeah,
and kids are 26, which is for me quite young.
and I'm 26. I'm not married. Not thinking to get married in next 4 or 5 years.
Just letting know everyone.
Yeah, that might give a little bit, that
Yeah.
might inflict a panic attack
Yeah.
in some of our relatives.
Yeah, forget it. We don't need to talk about. Nobody
Uh,
cares. And what about? I love this question because I kind of know what's the answer, but I want to know from you. You are in your mid 20s. There's many things happening right now in your life. So, what scares you the most at that point of life?
scares me the most. Oh my
Yeah.
god! Right now, the thing which scares me the most is like not able to provide a good lifestyle to my parents.
What does it mean? What
It
do you
means
mean?
like my father. It was not a. I don't know whether he will term it as a struggle or something, but he didn't overspend or like spend a dime on himself.
Hmm.
He saved it for me and my brother's education, and I want to like not to give back. It's very bad if I say I want to give back, but
Yeah.
I want to provide the luxurious lifestyle which people of their age
Yeah.
have.
Maybe not luxurious, but at least a decent,
Yeah,
respectable.
when you
Yeah.
don't have to get
Yeah.
worry about your finances,
I
don't have
think.
to worry about paying the bills,
Yeah.
or where the money is coming from, like a stable life, a
Yeah.
stable and happy life, though they are happy now also.
I just want to
But
know if this is because I'm kind of this is my major priority also.
yes,
So I want to know if this is something from LMAC, low and middle income countries, or people there. I don't know, around the world in mid 20s they are thinking about it. I don't know. I would just love. That's okay. There's a dog. I would just love to know, is this because we are used to, like, when you get at some age, you're starting retributing, you're starting getting
yeah,
back what you receive from your parents?
yeah,
Because I don't know, for me it's the same. I would like to be able to afford a kind of stability in which I can help my parents to have a, respectable, comfortable life, not maybe luxury, but comfortable life.
yes,
That's my main goal right now, and
yeah,
maybe having a family. I don't know. But yeah,
not
that's
my goal
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah, that's interesting. But I mean, you're
uh,
many years younger than me, so you still have you have many time before to
okay,
achieve that.
but I believe it depends upon the type of household we are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think that you and me, we belong to same kind of household, like
Mm-hmm.
middle income household,
Mm-hmm.
where you see the dreams of owning a helicopter or a private jet. I remember like when I was a teenager, my only dream was to sit in an airplane, because that was thought as like, oh, it's
Yeah,
very expensive, the plane tickets are very
yeah,
expensive. Till now I have been on the thrice
yeah, yeah,
on an
yeah, yeah,
airplane,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
so my parents have never been on an airplane, neither my brother.
Yeah, what happened to me is like, what I realized is, like, for example, my parents have been always working because we are
Yes,
middle income class, and even vacations. I remember we've never afford like a kind of a proper family vacation, like which is normal nowadays, and for many people I know it's normal.
yeah,
We've never afford, and I remember the first time we kind of we I am thinking my sister and I, my older sister and I, invite my parents to go to the beach, have to a beach house, and spending some days. And I remember my mom was crying, like, "Mom, what's happening? You're not happy?" Like, yeah, it's just like I've been working so much my whole life, and I mean, it's just like I'm happy. It's the first time we're having a family vacation because I don't know. It's like for our generation might be normal, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe their generation was hard, so everything was work, 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 work. Which I don't know. I thank you so much. My mom does not speak English, but thank you so much for giving us everything. Okay. And the next question will be about moving out and living for the first time in your country. So I would like to know how is it like, or how was it like
Oh my god, I was
actually?
super excited that finally I'm moving out from my parents' house.
It was the first time you leave your
Yes,
parents' house.
I have never left my parents even for a single day. You
Yeah.
know, I used to study in a university which was closer to my house,
Mhm.
or stayed with my grandparents.
Mhm.
I never stayed without my family for even for a single day. Yes, there was a little those little, what you say, a conference thing
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when I
Like
went to
travel.
Singapore for 4 or 5 days, and that too, one of my friend was
Yeah.
accompanying me, but never by myself in an
Yeah.
alien environment. I have ventured out
What
from the
I want to
house.
know, what do you think? How? Oh, yeah. What do you think life is gonna be like living alone? And how is it now that you realize in reality?
I thought it would be so much fun. Like, I would be focusing on my study. There won't be any person to tell me, "Oh, Daman, look at your hair," or "You have not combed your hair since 2 days," or "You have not cleaned your room,"
Oh
or "You
yeah,
are eating junk food," or things like that. But I never thought that I would be missing those,
yeah,
pointy things.
yes,
And I'm so desperate these days to meet my parents that I sent an invitation letter to my grandmother to come and visit me over here. And because I can't go back
yeah, yeah,
in my
yeah.
middle of studies, plus I can't afford to take a vacation
Yeah.
back in India right now. But um, I thought it would be an exciting adventure, but
Yeah.
it is not.
It's
It's not,
what?
especially in the winter month when the
Yeah.
sun sets around 3:30 or 4.
Oh my
It's
God,
more
winter.
depressing. Never
Yeah,
experienced that thing back in India.
yeah,
Always surrounded by my family. Someone or the other was cooking for me. Here I'm cooking by myself, and then when you try to taste your food, it's like,
yeah. I know, I know, I know. I
it
know
should
the
be in my
feeling.
stomach or in the dustbin.
I know. I've been there. I've been there. So because for me, I've been travel kind of in Europe before,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in US at the US. So, but at the same time, for me, it's my first time in Canada. So in my mind, it was blank. I couldn't imagine because I didn't know. Okay, it's not United States. It's not Europe. So how is it like? And yes, you see pictures in whichever you see
Yeah.
videos, but it's never in my mind. It was like I'm going there, but it's a blank, blank, I don't know, wall, which you don't know what it's like. So everything was very at the
Yeah.
beginning was very exciting to discover how it's like.
I guess I expected more than that.
Yeah,
Like Canada not being a blank, I expected more than that. And yes, slowly and slowly, I'm stepping into this
hmm,
realization
hmm,
that you need to work hard
yeah,
to whatever you have dreamed of,
yeah,
like going on those cruise ship.
yeah,
Like whenever we visit the old port and we see those cruise ships, the
yeah,
ferries and whatnot, we're like, oh,
yeah,
we will go there one day. And I
yeah.
hope when my grandmother comes over here,
You can watch it. Yeah,
yeah, I will take her on that ferry
yeah,
ride
yeah. That's
from
really fun.
Montreal to
Yeah,
Quebec
yeah, yeah,
City.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
expensive. It's like $150,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Or maybe the train is also.
No, not on a train, in
The
a
train is
ferry.
also
She
there.
never been on a ferry.
Oh, okay.
Neither.
And what I want to say is what was the most challenging? I mean, you already told me, but do you
Cooking.
remember cooking by yourself?
Cooking
Yeah,
by myself and waking up by myself in the morning
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
on the sound of the alarm. That was the most challenging part, because back in India, my mother used to come and she used to wake me
yeah.
up by
and I
scaring me
and I
earlier in the
and I
morning.
think and I think there might be people like listening and saying, "Oh, but that's cooking is just cooking. It's like make a sandwich and not put a pizza in the oven." No, it's not like that. Like cooking is like for us, is cooking is like spending at least 1 hour at the kitchen preparing a proper warm
Yeah,
meal with which you can and with entry, and then the main dish, and then something like fruit, dessert. So what we talk about cooking, it means everything, like this
From the
whole,
scratch.
yeah, from the scratch, and not processed food, not fast food, not like real cooking. So yeah, that I also miss a lot. I think is the most important for me right now. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I never appreciated my mother's cooking. Like I used to say, "Oh my God, you added more water in this curry," or like, "Oh, the taste is not good." Now I'm like, I was so privileged that even in my university days back in India, she used to prepare my lunch box, and my only task was to take the lunch box from the dining table and put it in my
yeah,
bag and then
yeah.
go.
What I miss from back home is like cooking is, food is affordable, really well cooked. Like
Yes.
restaurants are affordable. You can find like very well, and I don't know, it's very good food from very affordable. You don't have to tip, you don't have to tax. Like it's
Yeah.
very, you go to a restaurant, ask for the a menu or whichever, which is quite affordable, and it's everywhere. Like restaurants are everywhere with food, even around universities, around main streets, around your neighborhood. So you don't cook that much, even if you don't have the
Yes.
skills, you can always afford.
I guess we are students. That's why we can't afford. If you have the same
Yeah.
question to a working professional here in Montreal, they would be like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we
but they
don't.
but they also say, I don't know. Let's ask. But they also said many people which they're working, which I work with, they considered like, restaurants and everything is excessive with all the tipping and everything. It's less. So that's why people don't go out. Like here, like for example, in which I'm working right now, people don't go out every weekend, but which I was working like before back home every Friday. Oh, it's the end of the week. It's weekend. Let's go and have some dinner together. Okay, let's go have some lunch together at the restaurant. It was like it's normalized,
Yeah.
it's affordable, but here is like, oh, maybe it's someone's birthday. Okay, let's make an effort and go to a restaurant.
This might be a little funny. Like whenever we
Mhm.
ate out,
Mhm.
what my mother did. Oh, it's fine. It
Okay.
won't
Yes.
bite me. What my mother did, like after we used to pay the bill,
Mhm.
she used to see how many rupees we spent on the food.
Yeah.
She would compare it with the price of the Indian cottage cheese. So like with this much rupees, we would have got this much kg of Indian cottage cheese, which I would have cooked for you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Moms are like that. Moms are like that. Yeah.
and now if over here, even the Indian cottage cheese is so expensive,
Yeah.
probably $8 or $9 at Metro.
Yeah. 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 I totally agree.
It's not that much affordable.
Yeah. What was the best part of living in Canada for the first time?
The safety, the libraries, the
I
resources,
love
the
libraries.
resources,
Oh my god, I love libraries. I love libraries open on weekends.
the
Yeah.
friendly nature of people. Whenever you walk on the street, you smile at them, they smile at you. They don't think that you are a weirdo or
Yeah.
stalking them.
Yeah.
But that's the best part living over here. And as I have my family in Ottawa,
Mhm.
I travel back and forth every month, probably
Yeah.
mostly every month. So trying to have their perspective also on what life is all about here in Canada versus what life is back in India. Like my parents' perspective about life back in India is like just have a decent life. But I don't know if this is common or not, or it's my uncle who lives in Ottawa. He has this perspective like I am working. I want to afford all the luxuries in the life, or the luxuries which I need.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, not the necessity, but I should afford the luxuries.
Mhm.
And but my parents' perspective is like save the money,
Yeah.
save for the next generation.
Yeah, we didn't have these lessons of how to, home economy, like how to manage and really how to manage your
Yeah.
economy. So yeah, it was everything. It's empirical. I think my mom at home, my mom was always, oh no, money is made. I mean, we earn money to spend it.
That was not the perspective of my parents.
That's what life is
They
for.
were like, you
Yeah.
guys are overspending. They used to tell me,
Ah.
same thing to me and my brother whenever we bought a useless stuff, not a useless but like your fancy stuff, and they were like, "Oh my god, you guys have wasted your money on this. Oh, you guys have wasted our money on this."
Yeah, I think now right now kids are taking in classes. You know, in school they are
Yes,
taught like
financial
financial
management.
management and
And
everything.
my uncle, he really want the kids to learn financial management.
Yeah.
He said like, it needs to be like every kid should
Yes.
learn how
Sure.
to manage their finances.
Exactly. Exactly. Daman, is there anything? We're finishing. Is there anything that keeps you awake at night?
Yeah,
What? Not the cats and dogs because you are
coffee.
afraid. What coffee? Yeah, coffee.
Drinking
Might
coffee
might be
around
coffee.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
and having its effect. But
Yeah.
yes, my dream of having a career in research,
Mm.
like sometimes I guess my brain becomes a lot active
Your
at night.
enemy. Your enemy. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'm a nocturnal person or what,
I'm also.
nocturnal
Yeah.
creature, that my brain becomes active at night, and as soon as I used to hit, like today, these days also,
Mhm.
as soon as I hit my bed,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I need to sleep. The idea starts to come in,
That happens to me a lot, Daman.
and
And I
instead
guess
of
many people. Yeah.
searching those ideas, or like trying to research on the topic which suddenly comes to your mind on your laptop, you
Yeah.
uh,
This.
start using your mobile
Yeah.
phone by laying in the bed,
Yeah.
and the blue screen effect hits
And
you.
then yeah, and then you feel guilty, and next day, yeah. Oh my God, that's so common,
There
Daman.
have been days when I just slept for like 2-3 hours at night because I
Yeah.
was so passionate about the idea that hit me, and
Yes.
next day I'm
Oh
going and talking
my God, that
talking
happens.
talking up
Yeah.
talking 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 to my supervisor about the idea, and then she was like, well, you may encounter this problem if you go and execute
Yeah.
your idea. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
Exactly.
god, I slept whole night, a sleepless night.
Yeah, why don't you write them? And sometimes it helps me because that happens to me also, that I have so many ideas and I want to conquer the world at night whenever but that's why I'm forcing me not to, I cut caffeine, I'm
Yeah,
forcing me to sleep like a baby at 10, which I'm not like
I can't
completely,
sleep at 10. I guess I start my day
yeah.
at 10 p.m.
Yeah, so once I heard Taylor Swift said, like, put your everything, your passion, whichever you think is your enemy, you have to put it to produce and to create.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever you want to create. You want to create a recipe, go and bake. You want to create, I don't know,
I don't think so.
a
I have
research
enemies.
idea.
I have people
Yeah.
whom I hate, but I don't have
No, it's
enemies.
just, I mean, enemies metaphorically, like, your fears,
Yeah.
your concerns, or
Hmm.
yeah,
I think I'm a very career oriented
yeah,
person
mm-hmm.
who is concentrating on her studies, getting bad grades
Yeah,
in the upcoming exams, so studying throughout the night,
yeah,
not able to answer the questions being asked in the class,
mm-hmm.
or like someone coming up with the topic and not you are not knowing what the other person is talking about,
Yeah,
like you're doing your own research before attending a lecture.
yeah. That's
Those,
great. That
those
helps
are the
a
things
lot.
which I do, especially at night when the world goes silent.
Yeah.
My
Oh
mind is
my
very
God, is
loud.
there anything with nocturnal people? Because that happens to me all the time. Like my brain is wake up at 6 p.m. when, and then, but it's, oh my God. There's so many people I hear, they have this brain that, I don't know. We just need to, because life is made for people to be active during the day, but I cannot be. My brain's not active during the day if I don't drink coffee. But yeah, whichever. That's interesting. That's interesting. Just try to use these
Yeah.
sleepless hours to, get
The
anything.
problem is like most of our lectures are early in the morning, around 8:30, starting at 8:30. Next semester,
Yeah,
like two of my lectures, they would be at
you have to
8:30.
change. You
Yeah,
have
I
to
have
change.
to change, but it's so difficult.
Yeah,
Either I would be changing, or I would be sleeping in those lectures
yeah,
and then watching the
yeah.
lecture recordings to
Exactly.
study.
Yeah. Dama, what would you say to your 15 years old child or teenager?
15-year-old,
Teenager.
a teenager, like my only dream when I was a teenager, that was be on an airplane and go to a foreign country. Yeah,
Oh,
well, right now
really?
two countries done.
Yes. Oh my God, really? You will do it. You will one day
I don't
go to a
know.
plane.
Yeah, probably I will go and buy a plane, a private plane or
A
private
private
jet,
jet. A
and
private jet.
hire a private pilot.
Yeah. Taman, do you consider a woman? Because we are talking about roles and what being a woman, but not all woman, not all people who has a biological sex identify with a gender. But do you identify as a woman?
Hmm. Can we cut this question?
Why? You just need to say yes and no.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Do I identify myself as a woman?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think so.
I do identify as a
I was
woman.
labeled
Yeah,
as female,
yeah,
assigned female
yeah,
when I was born.
yeah. And then the question is, if you identify as a woman, you you were warm, you were born as a woman, or you became a woman.
Mhm.
In your
In
mind,
your in my mind,
what a
you
woman
see, okay,
means for you.
you see all the girly things or all
Yeah.
those makeup and whatever.
Mhm.
I have started to learn when I stepped out of my house when I came to Canada,
Mhm.
because my household, or it was a joint family with three families
Mhm.
living in the same house,
Mhm.
my two uncles and my
Mhm.
father,
Mhm.
and I was surrounded by boys. I
Yeah.
was a third generation, and
Yeah.
in the third generation, especially on my father's side, I was the only girl child.
Mhm.
I used to play with boys. I used to like my
Mhm.
brother. I used to
Yeah.
play with my brothers. I used to do all those kind of like manly
Yeah. Yeah.
activities in my household, not knowing anything about what it
Mm.
is like to be a girl, or like
Yeah, you didn't have
how
like
to
a
dress up,
role.
like a
Yeah,
girl,
yeah,
or
yeah. I
like a
understand.
woman.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
if I say like the woman aspect, or like being a woman,
Mhm.
I guess it's more about your uh, mental state,
Mhm.
whether you consider yourself as being a manly person, or
Mhm.
like a woman
Yeah, it's for
or a girly
that's
person.
what I'm asking. Actually, this question is from a French podcast which I learned. I learned French listening this podcast, which is called La Poutre, La Poutre.
Mhm.
And she also interviewed many, but recognized actors and whichever scientific women. And I love it because for everyone, what means, everyone's meaning of woman change. So I don't know. I was just wondering, what does it mean for you?
For me, woman is the same freedom
Mhm.
which men enjoy
Mhm.
in any part of the world.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
same freedom. If men can wear shorts
Yeah.
in the peak summers because they're sweating, so does women can. Like they don't need to like cover their
There.
head to toe
Yeah.
and sweating inside,
Yeah.
having a heat stroke.
Yeah. I understand. I understand the feeling.
That's something which
Yeah.
I personally suffer from.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same. Like having the freedom. I know what you mean. Having the freedom
Yeah,
to
this
wear.
the equal freedom of expression. I feel there's no men, and there should not be men and women, like like we should not differentiate humankind into
Yeah,
men
yeah,
and
yeah.
women.
Yeah, yeah. I
Everyone is
understand.
equal, everyone has the same rights, same birthright, same rights on mother, not rights on mother nature, but like they also came the same way as the any other gender
Mhm.
came into
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you. Thank you. It's yeah. It's finished. But there was more
Oh
question. I
my
didn't
god.
answer.